It's time to place your bets. Let's step into the huddle.
You're listening to the PreSnap Podcast Weekly Wagering Show, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to the PreSnap right here on the LineStar app. It's the wagering show today with me and Scotty B. That's right, Scott Bogman and Joe Pisapia with you, breaking things down. It was a pretty good week last week for us, and I gotta say, Bogman was very good, especially against the spread last week. Bogman, you were 11-4, very impressive out of the gate. My goodness, it's like you know what you're talking about or something.
I mean, this week one is the best week one I've ever had and ever will have. So I was very happy to do it week one, because week one is usually week 17. We always talk about that. Hardest ones to pick every single year.
Yeah, and look, there was we were looking for a lot of overs, but actually there were some unders that basically were a little bit more surprising there. And you know what? Maybe you chalk that up a little bit to. Well, you could chalk some up to Steven Gostkowski, but I think you also could chalk up some other things. Oh, did I say choke up? Oh, oops. But anyway, I think you could also
win some Super Bowls. Like, you can't hate him or anything.
It's not that I hate him. It's just I know how bad he's been the last couple of years. Yeah. And anybody who watched Patriot football knew that. And when he got hurt last year, I went, oh, good.
I couldn't believe they let him kick it at the end. I'm like, are you serious? You're going back to this guy. He couldn't make an extra point. And he finally nailed it. But, I mean, can you imagine if he would have missed that? Like, would you just fire Vrabel immediately? I mean, guy missed four.
I mean, I guess he's kind of backs against the wall a little bit there, but at the same time, what are you going to do? But anyway, I think some of the unders is, where we're at because there just wasn't preseason. I think that's what it was. And some of the overs that obviously we even the bigger ones, like the game with Atlanta, we were all over that too. And I want to remind everybody out there, again, subscribe to the show here. In case you missed it, we just dropped the DFS show yesterday. So the DFS show's out there, the preview for FanDuel and DraftKings for your main slate. And every Friday we do the wagering show. So go ahead and subscribe to the PreSnap podcast. And while you're at it, go over to LineStarApp.com and go upgrade to that premium product on LineStar. And you can get going with all the tools and all the optimizer and everything else on there. I'm telling you, it's so helpful when we're preparing for the shows. And we use it quite a bit. And I'll tell you what, some great values last week, some great values this week on there. So it really does help. I got to tell you, I've worked for a lot of DFS companies before in my life. I really have. I've even worked for FanDuel directly. And I can tell you in terms of the information, the way it's shot out there to you, it's so user-friendly. It's so simple. I hate some of the DFS sites because it's just too much information and it makes your head hurt. I need simple stuff. I need clear stuff. And that's what LineStar gives you. And we're going to try to give you some clear stuff too in some of these situations with these games. So Boggs, are you ready to defend your week one crown? Because week one definitely went to you. I was, what was I? 8-7. I was 8-7. You were 11-4. At least we were both on the positive. That's good. But still, 11-4. That's a pretty good week one. I got to play catch up. So
I'll take it.
Let's start with Atlanta at Dallas. Dallas is 4.5-point favorites in this one. The over-under is 52. Boggs, take it away, because I got a feeling you're going to like the over in this one as well.
Oh, yeah, way over in this one. Look, this is a get-right game for the Cowboys. The offense did not look right on the road against the Rams this week, and I think they're going to absolutely play much, much better against a much worse defense in Atlanta. Atlanta's still figuring stuff out, but they can score too. So I'm going to go Dallas, and the over on this one might be my lock of the week. This is a pretty easy one to me, Joe.
I'm going to go Dallas to win the game. I am going to go the over as well. However, we're going to differentiate a little bit here. I'm going to take Atlanta against the spread. I think they're going to cover this. Van Der Esch is out. And it's one thing I learned about watching the Cowboys last year. The Cowboys don't have a killer instinct. They do not know how to put their foot and squash. They don't know how to do it. They didn't know how to do it last year. They weren't able to do it in week one either. And I'm telling you right now, I think Atlanta can at least get back in this game because they do have all those offensive weapons. and I think they can possibly get back in there. I think Atlanta can cover this 4.5. If it was 3, I might feel differently, but 4.5, that's good enough for me. I'm going to take Atlanta to cover in this one. So there we go.
I think
First
Atlanta's
difference.
defense, they can only hold up for like a half because
It's going to be like 65-62. Don't get me wrong.
It's going to look like a college overtime game. I think that Atlanta, they were holding their own against Seattle for a half. But then in the second half, the wheels fell off. So I don't know, man. I don't believe. Show it to me first, Atlanta.
Have you watched the Cowboys the last 2 years? This is what they do. And you know what? And let me tell you something, brother. I'm gonna get a Hulk Hogan on.
All right, Hulk.
The Mike McCarthy was brought in to be the disciplinarian guy, so he'd stop doing things on feel and all what the players want to do. And what does he do? First shot out of the gate, right? Well, we were feeling really good about the offense. That's why we didn't.
He's gonna stop that. Like he already ruined it. So he's gonna stop that. It has to stop.
Okay. All right. So say you. I'll believe it when I see it. Something happens when you go down to Dallas and then Jerry gets in your ear about stuff, and I don't know. All right. Next one here is Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo is road favorites in this one, -6 for them. The over-under is 41. Boggs is just a simple one, too. Don't overthink it. Just Buffalo straight up. Clearly, I think we both think that. But I guess the question is, can they put up enough points here for the separation of the whole touchdown?
That's the hard one. So I would take Buffalo straight up. I would take them against the spread. The over-under, I wouldn't mess with. If I had to pick something, I'm going to go over because it's so low at 41 points. So, I'm thinking a 28-13 game, something like that. Maybe Buffalo scores 4 touchdowns, 3 of them pretty quick, and then they're running the ball a bunch, and Miami's trying to play catch-up, something like that. That's how I see this game going in my head, especially, Parker should be good, but he's a little bit questionable. Is he going to go out? And then is Miami just going to have nothing on offense because their, lead back right now is Myles Gaskin, who I liked in college, but he's not a great pro. So Buffalo and the over in this one, only because the score, the over 41 is so low.
Yeah, I agree. The 41 is very low, so I'm going to go over as well. Give me Buffalo on both ends also. So you and I see eye to eye on that one as well. So far, only one differential between the two of us, and we'll continue on here. And next one here on the board, if you listened to yesterday's show, I am not happy. I am not a happy camper about this Tampa game. I was so excited on Monday for it, and now just less so. You've got to really pay close attention here as we get more injury news and all this stuff, because that's going to have a huge impact on this game. But we can only go on what we have right now when we're making our calls. And right now, Tampa is 9.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the over-under. I will say this. I like the over in this game too. I will say this. I think Tampa's going to win. I'm also going to say that Carolina covers because I just think they're going. I just don't think that the Tampa Bay Bucks are ready to pull away from anyone yet. I think they can go win this football game. I think that's going to be a wackier total than people realize because Carolina showed you they can put points on the board. Now, McCaffrey does struggle against Tampa last year, especially. So either they got a game plan differently or something's got to change. But even last week against Kamara, you pointed out on yesterday's show, they were very good against Kamara as well. They look very solid again. So I think Carolina is going to cover in this one too. Bogman, what do you think?
Buddy, we're lockstep. I mean, I am taking Tampa straight up. I don't see a way Carolina can win this game, especially going on the road when they look so horrible against Vegas. I think the over is kind of the easy play here, but I got to take Carolina because I'm with you. I mean, you know what that game from Brady looked like last week? Do you know what quarterback he may have resembled from last season, Joe?
Jameis Winston.
Exactly like Jameis Winston. So I don't know if they're pulling away quite yet until Brady starts really hitting his stride. I don't think Tampa Bay should be more than a touchdown favorites against anybody, and maybe I'll look like a silly goose after this one, but I'm taking Carolina as well. So.
All right. Pittsburgh at home against Denver. They're 7.5-point favorites. This is a big number too. Problem is Denver has a lot of injuries and a lot of issues going on. That Pittsburgh defense is so good. I actually think Pittsburgh is going to cover this. So give me Pittsburgh to win. Give me Pittsburgh to cover. And the struggle here is the 41.5. It's what I think Denver can put up here. Because this could be a potential blowout, but I hate to say it, I think I'm going to go the over on this one too. We've got 4 straight overs in a row out of the gate. Boy, we just love points. We're just whores for points. So Are you and I in agreement again on this one?
Yeah, and I don't like taking all overs because that's what I did last week, and it didn't play well for me. So I will say that I probably wouldn't be messing with the over under on this game, but I'm with you. Denver
Oh, I
has
agree 100%. So far, the one we're having fun here on the show a little bit. We like to try to pick everything because we have our little contest, but I'm going to tell you this right now. This over under I would stay away from. This is a hard pass for me. And the other hard pass, I think actually no, so far that's the only hard pass for me. This one's the first, like, no, I don't like it, but for the sake of the show, I think I would lean the
Right.
over.
I wouldn't hard pass it because I think Pittsburgh could score 41, 42 by themselves if Drew Lock is having a terrible day. If he's, getting hit and fumbling, if he's throwing a couple picks and setting up Pittsburgh in short yardage situations and stuff. Like I'm not a hard pass. I will take the over. I don't know how much action I would put on it. But I like Pittsburgh in this game. You mentioned before. Denver still beat up. Sutton's beat up. They have some injuries on defense, and Philip Lindsay's gone as well. So I think this is an easy Pittsburgh win, and I'm hoping for it. I hate saying that into a microphone, but I do think it's
all right. Detroit is going to travel to Green Bay. Green Bay is a touchdown favorite in this one. The over-under is 49.5. I do think Green Bay is going to win outright. I'm sure Boggs agrees with that. I think that Detroit has a shot to cover in this game. I really do, but I am going to go with Green Bay instead, and I think they will cover this by the touchdown. They will be all right. However, I'm going to take the under in this game. I think this one's going to surprise some people. I don't think it's going to be. I think everyone's going to fall in this trap of, oh my God, look what they did last week against the Vikings, and they scored 4,000 points, and now they're going to score 4,000 points because Detroit is way worse. Yeah, that's not how the NFL works. So I'm going to go under on this one. Boggs, how about you? What do you think of Green Bay and the under?
I just like how that same guy didn't like your plays in DFS, and
that was a totally different guy.
Oh, it's a different guy.
Totally different guy.
That guy was like this. That was the other guy. He talked like this.
That guy's a bigger meathead. I talk like this. I really don't like that we're on the same wavelength here.
What? I'm no good because I didn't.
No. It's just
like win money on it.
No, it's not that you're no good. It's that some people are going to listen to you, some people are going to listen to me, and
Well, so far, if they just listen to us, we're going to sink or swim all together.
Very, very, very true, Joe. So I'm just so used to arguing with the Welsh, I think, about these. So I'm going to go Green Bay, and the under 2. I think that the under is a tough play. I don't know that I want to go with that. I think the only play here to go is Green Bay straight up, and it's probably not going to pay a bunch. I don't know how much action I'll have on this game. Like, I wouldn't parlay this one or anything. So it's not a hard pass for me because I'm confident in Green Bay. But I'm not super confident. I'd much rather take Dallas. I'd much rather take
I got to tell
Buffalo.
you, I feel best in this game about the under. That's the one thing I actually feel good about. They
put up 43 points by themselves last week.
I know, but that was last week. And it's week 1 and all kinds of wacky things. And Detroit has taught us one thing too, is that every week where you're like, they do, but Detroit always has leads and they end up blowing things late. And last year, Detroit played the Packers tough in Green Bay, if you recall. They got hosed on some calls there. I feel like it's not going to be the chalk that everybody else sees. And so far, to be honest with you too, there's been nothing here on the money line for us to get involved with so far. So that's why we haven't even mentioned one of these, because there's just no money to be made so far in these first couple games on it. So it's just not good practices. So let's get after the next one, see if things change here. Probably not. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee is 8.5 points at home. Ooh, boy, that's a big number. 42.5 is the over-under. Do you think Jacksonville can cover this one and kind of ruin some days? Because I kind of feel like they can.
I don't think they can beat Tennessee straight out, especially on the road. But I think they can cover. So I'm going to take Jacksonville to cover. I'm going to take the under in this game. We just saw Tennessee play a low-scoring game, where it was 16-14. Obviously, Gostkowski wasn't great, but Gostkowski's going to matter in this game. So I'm going to take Jacksonville, and I'm going to take the under on this one. This looks like a nice slugfest type of a game.
I don't know how, after watching that kicking performance, you couldn't take the Jacksonville side against the spread here. Like, how are you going to separate? If you're not kicking extra points and field goals, and you're not getting those little extra points, that adds up. 8.5 is a huge number. That's a big number. That's like a Chiefs number. That's like a Baltimore Ravens number. I love Tennessee, but God bless you. No, I'm gonna take the under. So once again, we agree again. And let me tell you, folks, lockstep. We do not do this very often here.
No, we usually find something to fight about. I'm ready to yell at you over something.
So far we're only fighting about Atlanta. Like that's it, right? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be apologizing to me at the end of the week. That's fine.
So. All right. So say you. Let's move on to the next one here. Rams at Eagles. The Rams are 1.5 point favorites on the road here. Is the wrong team favored in this one?
Yeah, I hate this game. But I think Philly has to get right here. And the Rams got to travel all the way across the country. They're coming off a big win, feeling great about themselves. So I'm going to take Philly in this one. I think this one also needs to go under. I think I'm going to take an under in this one too, especially if Sanders is back. If Sanders is back, I think I think this one needs to go under. I just can't take the Rams 2 weeks in a row, and I picked them last week. I felt weird about it,
and you were right though.
I was right, but and look, Aaron Donald should be planning Carson Wentz, but you got to put 4 of your offensive linemen on Aaron Donald. Like
I can't believe this. We've gone like 7 games now or 6 games where it's.
Oh, no,
I
really?
agree. I do. I hate that I'm doing it to you, but that's why I asked the question: is the wrong team favored? Because I think the Eagles should be favored in this game by the 1.5. Like I just do. I'm giving more credit to the home team. I'm giving more credit to Johnson playing too, because I think they win like 60% of the games when he's healthy and playing, and 30% when he's not. Well, that's a big difference. You know what? And I don't like the Rams traveling. And I'm not look. The Rams should have lost. They should have lost at home to the Cowboys. Cowboys had that game. So
that was such a terrible call. I mean, I know.
I feel like they're getting way too much credit in this week, and people are going to look at it and they're going to look at that performance by the O-line. They're going to go all in on the Rams, and I think it's totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll freely admit I'm staying away from this game. I don't want to.
I'm not, and I will fully admit I am going with the Eagles. And you know what? We haven't done it yet, but the money line, it's no good. It's okay. I mean,
it's okay.
It's all right. I mean, it's minus 108. It's not great.
That's fine. That's fine. Straight up is fine as long as it's not minus 250 or anything. I'm okay. So
minus 108. I want a nice big fat plus in front of something. That's what I want.
I get it. But
wait, that's coming up right here. You know where it's coming up? Because the Minnesota Vikings are going to go play the Indianapolis Colts, and it's plus 142.
I'm taking the Vikings in this game. I think they really found their stride in the second half. They looked much better.
Much better.
So I think if you can mix a little of that in early against this, reeling Colts team who just lost to Jacksonville. And look, Gardner Minshew was 19 of 20. So Kirk Cousins, a veteran with a huge contract, and throwing to Thielen, I think should be nice in this game as well. I think Cook is going to get going to have a nice game here too. So Minnesota, and you know what? I think the Colts can score too, and I think that Minnesota defense is overrated. So I'm going to go Minnesota over on this game.
I will go Minnesota under, and I will be different, not just to be different, but I will go and the reason is because I think the Colts are a little inept right now. And I think they're going to continue to turn the ball over, and that's not good. And if that means Jonathan Taylor turned the ball over, I do believe it's going to be Philip Rivers turn the ball over. But I agree with you in the sense that the Minnesota defense might not be that good, but it might not matter. Maybe they're not as good as they thought they were. But I don't know if it's going to matter the way Rivers looked.
Denny Green here?
What's that?
They were.
There's a little Denny Green. Yeah, a little bit.
Little Denny Green. A little bit in there.
All right, let's go to the next one here. New York Giants at Chicago. I do think Barkley's going to have a much better performance in this one. The Bears are 5.5 point favorites. How are the Bears a 5.5 point favorite over anybody? I don't know. So give me the Giants to cover this one. I don't. 5.5. Mitchell Trubisky. Come on. What are you, crazy? No. The 42, I would stay the hell away from this one because this one scares the hell out of me. But if I have to lean for the sake of the show and pick something, I will pick the over in this one. But give me the Bears to somehow find a way to win this game. Actually, you know what? No. You know what? Screw it. We got to be different. You know what? No. if I'm going to think the Giants can cover it, then Mitchell Trubisky is going to find a way to lose and they should not have won last week. And you know what? They shouldn't win this week. I think the Giants are better than people realize. Give me Daniel Jones making a play, somehow finding a way. Give me the Giants over. Go ahead. What do you want here?
Hey, look, I wish I could argue really vehemently against you in this game. I don't have a ton of confidence in this game, but obviously watching my Steelers play the Giants last week and watching that offensive line just be the same old turnstile offensive line.
I know, but it's against the Steelers. They're so good. Dude,
good, but dude, the Bears with Akeem Nicks and
I know they're good too.
Khalil Mack, who they traded all those picks for. Khalil Mack is still great. So I think I'm going to go Chicago straight up, and I will take them against the spread. I'm not going to tell you I believe in Trubisky, but I will tell you I believe Trubisky is a better player than we've seen the last couple seasons. I think he can manipulate the pocket. I think he just needs a little confidence. So if he stacks wins, I think we'll start to see Trubisky play a little bit better. And I think this is a stacked win. So give me Chicago and give me the over in this game. I think, the Giants defense is still, they're almost there. They're still working it out though. But once you saw Ben get into a rhythm, he was really.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the Giants, even though they lost that game, I think as a Giant fan or a Giant coach, I would take the guys in the locker room and say, hey, that is a much better football team than you, and you hung with them. Next week, let's go kick them.
You would say that, but
well, yeah, you hung with them for a while. That's a much better football team than you, and you hung with them for 3 quarters. You were there, 1910. You were there.
Oh yeah, they were there. I was worried.
You should be.
Until Bud Dupree, knocked that ball out of Daniel Jones' hands and Cam Hayward caught it. And then even after that, Benny Snell fumbled. And they should have got that. There were 4 blue jerseys right around it. And then Juju just, beat everybody to the ball. So, that the game was closer than it should have been. But also, Roethlisberger hadn't played for a year and all that stuff and had a little bit of rust going until that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. Roethlisberger looked way off. So, I'm with you. Look, both these teams I think are better than people.
Mr. Trubisky's looked way off for his career, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, but remember, Trubisky coming in the NFL didn't have that many starts at quarterback between high school. And
guess what? He's not going to have that many ahead of him.
I think Trubisky's career path is a lot like Ryan Tannehill. So start for a little bit.
You know what though? That's not fair. Ryan Tannehill had a couple good years there for the Dolphins, statistically speaking, and he had 1 year where he started to make a lot of progress, and then the wheels came off, and that injury happened. But we spent way too much time talking about Mitchell Trubisky. Enough.
You're right.
Enough. San Francisco traveling to New York after being 0-1 against the Cardinals, like I said they would be, and now they are 7-point road favorites against the Jets, which I can understand. I will take San Francisco to win this game. But I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about this number. I am.
No, you're not.
I am. They've got so many injuries. I'm a little worried about it. I'm still going to go with the 49ers, but I'm very worried about it. This is the one where I'm going to kick myself, I feel like. I feel like we're going to come back here on Tuesday, and I'm going to go, oh, man, I wish I would have listened to my instinct there. But it's just, at the end, it's Adam Gase. That's the end. At the end, that's what it is. So I'm going to go.
That's offensive piece. Lev Bell is not in this game. And I know.
Wait. So this isn't the Frank Gore revenge game?
No, it sure isn't. So from when? 15 years ago when he played for the Niners? From 1992 when he was
Didn't he play with Montana?
Yeah. He played in Montana before it was a state. That's how old he is. So this is one of the easiest games of the week. And this is one I will be putting money on. The Niners to cover, the Niners straight up, and the under because the stupid Jets aren't going to be able to score.
Agreed.
So
that we can all agree on. My favorite bit, the under for sure. Under in San Fran. I would stay away from the spread in this one. Bogman feels way better about it than I do. I would not go after this one. And I understand San Francisco's enormous favorites, but it's the NFL. These things happen. Arizona coming off that huge win. They are home favorites, 6.5 points over Washington. The over-under on this one's 47.5. Do you think the Washington offense can do enough to kind of keep pace here with this?
I don't like this game at all.
I don't either.
I feel way less confident about this one than I do the Niners here. But I guess I'm going to take the home team straight up. I'm going to take 6.5 is such a good line. That's about perfect. I tell you what, I'm going to go with the over for sure, because the Cardinals defense isn't great, and Washington should be able to score, and the Cardinals can score on anybody. I think they can score on anybody's defense. So I'm going to go with Arizona against the spread, but this is another no action game for me.
100% agree. I don't like this game at all. I would be running away from this one, but I am going to go with Arizona to win. I am going to go with Arizona to cover. And man, I want to go with the over, but you know what? I'm going to go with
47.5. That's high.
I know that's, you know what? I'm going to go with the under. Let's be a little different here. I'm going to go with the under on this one, but I wouldn't touch any of these. I'm just telling you right now, everyone, Boggs doesn't like it. I don't like it. Run away. Considering we've been in lockstep for everything, we're in lockstep for this too. This is another, this might be the biggest hard pass of the day for us.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the biggest hard pass so far.
Okay, we only got a couple more left here, so let's fly through them. We got Baltimore at Houston. Baltimore 7-point favorites. The over-under is 52 for this one. See, this is another tricky one because the Baltimore defense is very good. They looked great last week, but again, that's Cleveland. I'm gonna say over. I think this is gonna be more fun than people realize. I think there's gonna be some garbage time points. I'm gonna go with the over. I will go with Baltimore.
Catch more than 2 passes for 17 yards or whatever loser line he had last week.
I guess. I'm gonna go with Baltimore to win outright. And you know what? Let's make a heartbreaking loss for the Texans.
No.
Let's say the Texans cover this, and it's not quite the cakewalk. Look, road games are tough. Let's be honest. You know, I think road games are a little harder. And as good as they look last week, I think the one thing we learned about the Ravens last year is sometimes you can catch them napping a little bit. And you know what? You know, let's also not forget they got thrashed last year. Remember the Texans got thrashed by Baltimore? Yeah. I think that one stings a little bit. I don't think they're going to have to beat them, but I think they remember getting thrashed, and you're already 0-1. I think there's a little bit more of a, I don't know, the need for urgency here. I think they're going to come up short, but I'm going to go with with Houston to cover in this one. 7.
Well, dude, whoever makes the schedule, I think has got to be a AFC South fan that is not a fan of Houston, because they open up at Kansas City, at home against Baltimore, and then on the road against Pittsburgh. So good luck, Houston. I'm going to take Baltimore straight up. I'm going to take them against the spread. And I think because Houston gets maybe a couple touchdowns early, I think Baltimore starts to play ball control in the second half. They start running the ball way more. And I think this game goes under because that 52-point line, I know both these offenses can play, but I just think that Baltimore, if they want, can dominate the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to take Baltimore against the spread and straight up and under on this game.
Kansas City at the Chargers. Kansas City 8.5-point road favorites. Wow, that seems like a lot. That's just a lot. Like, I think Kansas City is going to win this game, but man, 8.5 on the road. I mean, the Chargers are not great, but I don't know. I kind of struggle with this
16
one.
Points against the Bengals.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference. But again, that was on the road for them.
And so, Anthony Lynn wants to not give his best player the
oh, stop. Of course. Eckler. All right, over under 5.5 catches for Austin Eckler.
I have to say over because I'm way too invested in Eckler. He better catch 10. But I'm gonna take this is the Chiefs in the over. Come on, the Chargers aren't there yet.
I will take the Chiefs across the board of the over with you, but I'm not betting this one. I'm not. I'm staying away from
21 zip in 2 minutes into the second quarter. You're gonna be mad.
Maybe it's true. All right, you got to get some
extra rest too. They played on Thursday.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Sometimes guys come up flat there. Just saying. Yeah, okay. Chargers have some better corners too. You know, they had Harris last year or this year, I should say. Just saying, Chargers defense is for real. Like that, if anything, you know what?
Harris gonna look like an old man against Tyreek Hill. Come on.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't look like an old man against Tyreek Hill? I mean, come on. Actually, I think I don't know if he's gonna be on him or not though. Is that the matchup? I think it's the other way around. I could be
might.
wrong.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Tyreek Hill's going to torch whoever it is. So
I think he's on Sammy Watkins. I'd put the old man on the old man. That's what I would do.
Derwin James also not in this game. They're still trying to decide between Desmond King and Nasir Adderley. You got a rookie linebacker in there against Travis Kelce. Like Chris Jones up against a terrible offensive line. There's nothing in the Chargers' favor in this game.
All right.
So
I'm gonna ride this with you. I'm just not in love with as much as you. I don't think it's as easy as this. Two more here. It's at the Sunday and the Monday night games, and then we'll fly out of here. We got New England at Seattle. Seattle at home, 4.5 favorite. The number's 44.5. The New England defense still look good. Patriot offense does not look like a professional offense, but you know what? They won, and that's what they do. And I feel like they're just gonna grind and grind and grind. I'm going to go the under in this game. I will go with Seattle to win. I will go with New England to cover. I don't think, because this is like vintage New England. They're just going to grind and grind and grind, and they're going to end up winning or losing by a field goal probably. And I think Seattle will pull this one up. So I'm sure you disagree with me. You probably like Seattle across the board.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pretty confident.
There's no one in this crowd. Let's not forget that too. So forget the massive Seattle home field advantage nonsense, because that honestly last year that sucked anyway.
I would like this game even more if that was the case. But look, Seattle, and it's what we said about them against Atlanta, right? It's continuity. It's the same guys being there for so long, and the offensive line looking better too. So I think that Seattle has got this game pretty locked up, but I will take the under. I know that, New England and their defense is crafty. They're going to grind the clock out as much as they can, which, if this line was a little bigger, I would definitely take New England. But since it's only 4, if it was more than a touchdown, I would definitely take New England. But I think since it's only 4, I think Seattle wins this one going away. They're one of the more complete teams in the NFL that can deal with no preseason games and no practices. And we saw that in the second half against Atlanta when they matched up kind of evenly to start, and then Seattle had all the rust knocked off and then started beating the doors off Atlanta. And I think, their first home game and everything.
Tackle, and that's the one thing New England's always going to do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So I will. I'm going to stick my guns, and it's not my, and me, I keep it real. I'm the king of keeping it real. Just because I'm a Patriot fan does not. I'm not.
Real goes wrong. So
say the Packers get their doors blown off. I just don't think it's this one, and I think this is Russell Wilson's year for the MVP. I think this is it. I think how many shows have we done together where I said Seattle's going to win this division this year, and so far after week 1, it certainly looks like Seattle's the favorite to win this division. But at the same time, primetime game, Cam Newton, New England defense, Bill Belichick, they're going to find a way to be competitive. They're going to have a game plan. And then they're going to make adjustments because that's what they do.
Play action 83% of the time, because even Seattle doesn't have a good pass rush either. I think if there was a little more continuity with Cam Newton, I would take New England, but I just can't do it in week 2.
I can't wait to see what your upset special is today. All right. Last one here. Monday night, New Orleans at Vegas. I never like New Orleans on the road. If Michael Thomas isn't healthy, I like it less, but they're probably going to win this football game. I don't know about 5.5 though. That's in the, that line tells you a lot right there. It's not like, oh, we're so confident in the New Orleans Saints, because it's not a very confident line. The New Orleans Saints should blow the doors off this kind of team. I think they're trying to tell you something there. So I think the Raiders are going to cover this. I really do. And I will go with the over in this one though, too. I think it's going to go over. I know you probably disagree with me on this one. I'm going to go New Orleans to win, Vegas to cover. I love to say Vegas to cover. That's just a fun thing to say. We haven't gotten to say it yet. I like Vegas to cover. And then I like the over in this game. Boggs, where are you going on this one?
I'm actually with you on Vegas. Look, New Orleans offense, they scored 34 points, but you got to remember they had a pick 6. They had a ton of turnovers off of Brady, setting them up in nice field position and all that stuff. So they were very inefficient. So I'm going to take the Raiders to cover. I'm with you. I still think, the Raiders probably aren't good enough to win against New Orleans quite yet. But I am going to take the under because of that inefficiency, and because, Jacobs did great against Carolina, and I expect him to have a decent game against New Orleans here. But New Orleans defense is way more real than Carolina. Carolina might have the worst defense in the NFL. So I think this one is going to go under. And I'm taking the Raiders to cover for sure.
By the way, just some interesting money lines here. The Giants are plus 205 on FanDuel on the money line. The Minnesota Vikings are plus 142, and the Washington football team is plus 245. So
Wow.
those are, so just go throw those out there. Those are the three that kind of caught my eye, so to speak, as we're going through all these. So those are some money lines to keep an eye on because I think that's got some potential. One of those I think is I wouldn't be shocked if 2 of the 3 of those. I really would not, my friends. I really would not. So that's all the picks. That means it's that time again, boys and girls. It's time for the upset special. I will go first this week because Bogman is not new anymore. So no more of him going first. So I am going to go with the Eagles. Yeah, I know it's a small line, but I don't care. I think the Eagles win at home against the Rams. That's my upset special. I don't think the Rams should be favored in this game. The Rams should not have won that game at home. They did because the Cowboys are dumb. 1.5 is the line there. I think the Eagles are going to not only cover this, but win this game outright. So, Bogman, what's your upset special for the week?
Give me the Vikings on the road. Both these teams are desperate for a win. I think that the Vikings played really well in the second half against Green Bay. The defense isn't great, but I think they can outscore the Colts. So give me the Vikings as my upset special this week.
All right, so that'll do it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LineStar App, at LineStar NFL, and follow me and Boggs at Bogman Sports, at Joe Pisapia 17. Have a great weekend of football, everybody. That'll do it for us. There's only one thing left to do now, and that's step out of the huddle and set down win.
You've been listening to the PreSnap Podcast Weekly Wagering Show, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, drop a rating, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.